I first knew about you through a magazine article many years ago, in fact, when I think your organisation was known as Attention X, a completely different name altogether. And I kept that article, I stashed it away in a drawer for another day, because that wasn't the right day for me.
Another decade.
Another decade, in fact, indeed. And it was just one of those moments, a sodic moment, as I would call it, when you just get up one day and think, I have to crack this. If I don't do something now, this is going to be a problem for me forevermore. And I was more and more conscious of the fact that there was potentially permanent damage being done, and if I didn't stop now, I was going to have a serious problem. This was 6 years ago, and I picked up the phone one day, palpitations, and agreed, hold my breath, decided to come in, which I did. And ironically, immediately after booking in the appointments, I then had a really difficult time at work. I work on a major crisis team, and I was called out for a really significant crisis which went on for weeks, and I would never have been able to make that appointment if I hadn't done it that day, so it was meant to be. Anyway, the crisis subsided and the appointment date came round, and I rocked up for the day, and about 12 hours later I fell out of your building.
Transatlantic flight.
Transatlantic flight, a new person with hair, because up to that point my hair had all been piled on my head and lacquered to within an inch of its life, what was left of it. And I walked out looking like this completely different person. And it was just, it was like being born again. It was a very weird thing. And over the years, the intralay system stayed on until gradually we got it shorter and smaller, to the point where I ended up with literally just the parting, because by this stage things had pretty much grown back, but I was a bit thin, and I felt I needed just that little bit of a comfort and a bit of extra protection. And it was actually March this year that for the final time off came that parting, and it was all me after that. Now, I'm not really an emotional person, but that day I came to have the parting removed, I cried like a baby from start to finish. It was almost like 20, 30 years of pressure suddenly releasing, and it was undescribable. And my life has changed since then. I've now got my time back. I don't spend hours in the bathroom zhuzhing and preening, and I can go out, I feel confident. It's made an enormous difference to me. I feel like I'm a different person. I feel the sky's the limit now. There's things I do now I would never have done. I certainly wouldn't have become a magistrate. I wouldn't have had the confidence to do that. I've had promotions at work I wouldn't have dreamed of. It's just completely reinvented who I am, and I now don't have any barriers.
Anna, what's it mean to you to face your daily life with the appearance of a full head of hair?
Well, for me, I used to live my life without any hair really at all, and when I first came to you and had what was then a volumizer, now the intralace attached, I just, at first I just couldn't get used to it. And the thing I couldn't get used to most of all was the way people treated me so differently. They treated me like a full normal human being. People used to look straight through me or straight round me, anywhere except at me, because obviously they didn't want to stare, and they didn't want to stare at my hair. And I'll never forget, on my way to you, the very, very first time, for the very first appointment, I was so emotional and so upset. I'd just bought a new car, a lovely little Mercedes. I scraped it all the way down some lamppost as I was going around Putney Bridge.
Oh dear.
Because I was in such a state, because I was about to go and let my hair down in front of a stranger for the very, very first time ever. And on that night, after sort of like sitting in your chair for 12 hours, having a new system put in, and sort of hair of my choice, colour of my choice, style of my choice, there's absolute certainty I could do whatever I liked. I could swim, I could swing from chandeliers, I could jump off bridges and do sort of like go surfing in the sea, do whatever I pleased, and my hair would stay in place. Yeah, I couldn't actually believe it. And then I pulled in, I needed some petrol, and the person behind the counter as I was paying, he was being flirtatious, and I looked round, who's he flirting with? And then suddenly, he's flirting with me. Because I was suddenly blonde. I looked normal.
Oh,
I couldn't believe it, and really, my life was transformed.
wow. What about you, Angela? What's it feel like? Do you have a full head of hair?
Well, the first time when I came and had it done, I couldn't get used to seeing myself in the mirror. I would look in the mirror straight away, and I'm thinking, who is looking back at me? I found that very strange, and it took me a very long time, the same as Annie. It took me a very long time to get used to the fact that I had hair and I was normal and blended in, and didn't stick out like a sore thumb. I didn't go to the school gates and the kids would look at me and my children would say, "Oh, mummy hasn't got hair anymore." I was a normal mum again. That was really
profound.
very,
Yes.
reassuring that you could do something like that and then feel normal again.